Welcome to the Movement PT Coffee Cast, where we sit down and talk about physical therapy, health, and whatever else comes to mind during our coffee-infused conversations. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Movement PT Coffee Cast. My name's Dalton, and unfortunately, not with me today is my beautifully bearded friend William. It's just going to be me today, guys. I'm going to do a little bit of an individual podcast, so you won't have William's bearded wisdom on this episode, but he'll be here with us in spirit. I'm actually growing out my beard a little bit, so maybe I'll take over some of that wisdom that Will has with that beard. But I want to sit down and talk to you guys today about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's supported our podcast from the start and continues to support us on a weekly basis. It's amazing to see the consistent downloads that we get from episode to episode. We cannot be more humbled by this, and we're just going to keep trying to put out good content for you guys, have some good conversations with people, and most importantly, drink coffee. So if you guys haven't done this already, we'd really appreciate it if you headed over to iTunes, subscribe to our podcast, and leave us a review. Obviously, we want 5 stars, but leave us an honest review. Let us know what you guys like about the podcast. If you have some things that you want us to do better, also let us know. We're trying to constantly grow. That's part of the process. So, yeah, if you guys could do that for us, we'd really, really appreciate it. But let's jump into it. So what I wanted to talk about today is just, I've been hearing this a lot lately, and it's frustrating to hear from a physio perspective, and even a healthcare professional all around perspective. So you're always talking to people, and I guess this one thing that comes to mind is, so I posted a video the other day on my Instagram page. It was me doing a power snatch. It was not heavy by any means. It was not perfect by any means. But I got a comment from someone on the video saying, they were impressed by the lift, but they couldn't believe that, they basically said that their back hurt just watching it. And this is something that constantly happens a lot. You'll hear people talk about watching people deadlift or lifting anything heavy from the ground or squatting or doing whatever. And there's always a comment like, oh, my back couldn't handle that, or oh, their back's going to get injured if they keep doing that. Like, there's just those comments. And I'm sure, if you're a student or if you're a physical therapist or if you're a strength coach or whoever you are, or you're just general population listening to this, I'm sure you've heard this before. And it's something that keeps coming up. I had a conversation with someone else the other day about how, once you turn a certain age, everything starts going downhill. You start having aches and pains. You have wrist problems and elbow problems and knee problems. And people just, kind of accept this. And something that I want to hopefully start to encourage people to do is to not accept this. So, I always want to ask those people, well, what are you doing to actively work towards not having that? So I think what happens is we have these injuries or this pain or whatever it may be, and we just accept it. If you're 40 and you have knee pain, that's not associated with being 40. It's just you have knee pain. What happened? What did you do? What are some things that you can actively work towards to combat it? And it's this idea of having a fragile mindset. So one of the things that me and Will try to do on a daily basis with our content is, put out positive messages, but also put out messages encouraging people to move, to strength train, to take control of their own health. No one else is going to do it for you. You can continue to go to other people. You can continue to rely on other people. But in the end, you're going to have to make that decision to shift your mindset from this idea of being fragile to this idea of being resilient. And I think that as a physical therapist myself and in the healthcare profession, we sit in such an amazing spot to do this. Our skill set is great. For the most part, if you're educating yourself in pain and the biopsychosocial framework, and strength and conditioning principles, just basic. It doesn't even have to be anything crazy, like knowing how to teach a deadlift or a hinge, or knowing how to teach a squat, or knowing how to teach a press. Like, we have such an awesome role where we can integrate all of these things together and empower people. And also, like, we have that title. Like, as much as people, you can say this and that, like, having that title, you have a little bit more respect. And is that always right? I don't think so. I think there's people out there that are really, really good at their job, and there are people out there who are really, really not good at their job, and that's in every profession. It doesn't really matter. So I just think that we need to start pushing this more and more and more. People that come in and see you that are talking about, having knee pain, and they're associating it with their age, or they're associating these pains with getting older, or blah, 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 blah. The same thing you hear often. We need to shift this, man. We need to continue to empower people, be movement optimists. How can we encourage this person to pick something up from the ground and be confident in it? Or how can we encourage this person to squat down and, pick something up off the ground, or put something on their back and squat it? There's nothing wrong with that. We're strong people. And, it might not be someone's goal. Like, they might not want to strength train, but encouraging people and proving to people that they can pick up a 50-pound kettlebell from the ground to their waist can go a very, very long way. And so I just hope, we get to a point, and I tweeted this the other day on our Twitter, which, if you aren't following us on Twitter, you should follow us at the MVMT PTs. We don't tweet often, but we're trying to get our Twitter game up. I tweeted this idea is that, like, we hope that we can get to a point where someone will look at a movement such as like a heavy deadlift or a squat and be like, wow, that person is strong. Instead of looking at it like, oh my God, my back hurts just watching that, or oh my God, that person's back is not going to make it past 50. That's honestly probably one of our goals, is to constantly push that message that there's nothing wrong with doing those movements. There's nothing wrong with getting strong. And if you do have some problems, if you do have back pain, if you do have elbow pain, if you have something, that you can work towards taking control of that. We have this, we become so like, this idea of learned helplessness. Like, you have the power to change your daily routine, and it can be as simple as just doing one thing that's going to make you healthier. And that's a question that, I think maybe I should start asking a little bit more to people, like in clinic or in evals, is, what can you do right now to be a little bit more healthier? What is that? Is that going for a walk? Is that, exercising 2 times a week? Is that, getting on a strength program? Whatever it may be, like, that is what people need to start thinking, rather than, oh, I'm just getting old, I'm just gonna let this happen and just accept it. Like, that's not the way it needs to be. And I hope that we can continue to push the message of resilience and movement optimism over this message of fragility, and you shouldn't be doing things because you're getting old, or that's going to hurt you, because that's not true. So, this is a short podcast, guys. It's more maybe a little bit of a rant. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm drinking some coffee, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot. So I thought that I would just, put the message out there, trying to maybe do a little bit more of this for you guys, just get some of my thoughts out. If you listen to it, great. If you have some feedback, awesome. Like, you can shoot a message to us on Instagram, Facebook, Gmail, whatever it is. It's at the MVMT PTs. You can email us at themovementpts@gmail.com. We're always open for conversation, and I would like to hear your feedback on this. Like, do you think we do a good job as a profession at being movement optimists and empowering people? Do you think we need to do better? What can we do to be better? Let me know. Shoot me a message. As always, guys, we appreciate your support constantly. It's amazing. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you later. Peace.